So let's see if this guy in the bottom right can assert his dominance once again. From Prep Esports, this is Haas.
And in the top left side of the map, in the red, representing Juggernauts, this is GogojOey. Apparently the players have just been literally laughing in their player cams during the banter. The most recent example was, of course, Haas pointing out that Rex, with his Protoss off race, took a map of Dark, despite being 2,000 MMR lower than him. And Haas is pointing out that, or actually, that's Joey's point, in fact, that it's broken. Haas, of course, is just dropping question marks and saying, oh, I'm going to win, shut up.
Yeah. He's like, nice talk, but I'm still winning. Haas also believes that a 6,500 MMR Protoss is worse than a 6,000 MMR Zerg.
Yeah, I think he used the wrong symbol there, hey.
Yeah.
He tried to do a greater than, did a less than.
Good stuff. Banter. Where would we be without it? Next 4 core for Haas, so he is probe scouting though, just going for it, but not the super early probe across the map like a lot of Protosses like to do.
Nah, just gonna let him take that hatchery. And Joey takes it on his natural. He does see the probe coming, so he's pulled a drone down. No, 2 Zerglings, sorry. Is of course a pull first opening, so a little bit safer here in case there is a cannon rush. And does deny the scouting, so Haas won't know if there's more Lings coming, or if there's Ling speed, anything like that. We, of course, can see that Joey's intentions are in the macro realm, Maynard. There is going to be a 3rd hatchery in the near future, and no doubt a lot of droning. And a Stargate goes up for Haas.
Yep. So pretty normal so far from Haas. And apart from the pull first, GogojOey is, as Big mentioned, macro focused. He's getting the drones up, spreading out the queen, and ready to drop that first creature in the natural as well. There is still the, even though there is macro here from the Protoss, you do have to respect those first adepts from the Protoss. If you don't do that, then I hope you don't like drones.
Yeah, things can get out of hand very quickly in this matchup. As a creep tumor does go down, and the early adepts and oracles are always something you've got to watch for. Second adept is out, but it looks like it's sitting at home for now, just defending any Zerglings from coming in. And Void Ray already on the way for Haas.
This adept's going to try and get some target fire in. Good save on that one drone from GogojOey. I mean, having to forced to make spores does take a little bit of minerals away from you when you get that refund, but he killed the adept, so I think that's pretty good for GogojOey.
Absolutely. Yeah, 1 drone and a bit of spore, 2 spore tricks. That's totally fine for an adept. Second gateway does go down in the wall off for Haas, and that doesn't... I haven't seen him play Mass Void Ray, Mass Sky Toss too much, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's like Void Ray into Oracle or 2 Void Rays, and then he just starts doing some other stuff.
When Haas goes a lot of Void Rays, it's normally in PvP, actually, and as a response to being, attacked by one base Stalker all in.
Spores on the way now for Joey. Twilight Council comes down behind this for Haas. Definitely looks like he just wants to go to that next step. Does find the second Overlord. Joey wanted to make sure he could scout, and he will see that the gases aren't taken at 4 minutes, so that definitely tells him that it's probably a bit more of a ground-oriented play. So that is useful scouting in of itself. Doesn't tell him if he's being all in or anything, of course, but I would imagine we'd probably see a Roach Warren maybe latest 4 minutes 45, and getting out a handful of roaches when that's done, because yeah, he's got the scouting on the lack of the gas, and that tells you that he's dropped some gateways.
Yeah, it means no big lean into Stargate, and no huge expensive tech. Twilight Council is not going to lean into Templar Archives or likely a Dark Shrine or something like that. It's too expensive. But plenty of adepts out of many gateways, that is possible. And GogojOey is going to need something more convincing. He's yet to drop that Roach Warren. No Bailey Nest either. Like, those things could be nice for defense. Oh, dude, Void just escapes.
I was saying it with the scouting, 445 latest on the Roach Warren. That's a 5-minute Roach Warren, 7-gate Glaive Adept. This is going to be a crazy amount of adepts coming across this map. You know what? The probes are coming out towards that 3rd, but Oh, Ling's actively looking. Joey has got to build so many roaches the moment that roach warren finishes to defend. Now, the only thing going for him here, Haas doesn't have a warp in point or a robo. He doesn't have a warp prism. So he actually can't warp in on the front. It's going to be one giant wave, essentially. Joey's building drones. Ling's right now. He sees the adepts.
Oh, sees the adepts. Okay, hold that R button, buddy. He's accidentally made some Lings and a drone here.
Yeah,
he actually might be out of lava.
He's going to have to...
He's out of lava. He's got a little bit.
Yeah, 5 roaches is it. He's got to wall off his natural right now. If he doesn't wall off his natural with an Evo right now, I think he's just going to get blasted.
Well, the wall in comes. Queens are on the outside, so they're exposed. Easy pickoffs for this many adepts, but the important thing is that he's not battling the shades bouncing between his main and his natural and his third, and his main and his natural and his third. The adepts picking up roaches as they hash from the third base here.
It's too many. It's too many adepts. They're able to fight the roaches and the queens. The spine will come up and help hang on here. Did he cancel the Evo? Yes, he did. So his roaches are coming out. The Void Ray now adding in its damage to this. The Evo cancel does let the adepts in the natural and the main, and that's where the drone losses could start going down. It hasn't happened just yet, but there's still so many adepts in here.
I think it's about to happen here, Pig, as the adepts get into the mineral line. 13 drones just like that. He went from 3 drone kills all of a sudden to 16 as the adepts start to target fire and annihilate the drone line of GogojOey. The roaches and the lings just too far and few between. Finally, he catches the adepts here between the natural. He's going to get a few of them there. Going to recall. Looks like maybe 2 of them escape. I think 2 of them escape there, but 22 drones worth of damage. Haas rocking a severe economic lead here, and GogojOey is going to drop the Spire and re-drone. Haas, though, a second Stargate behind this. Very easy for Haas if he can pick up what GogojOey's putting down. Going into a big flock of Phoenixes is super easy when you have multiple Stargates.
Absolutely. Looking like he was already going to head towards the 4th base. Haas, the mad lad. No queens with this roachling counterattack, no roach speed, so it's a bit wild. I mean, Joey, of course, knows he's in a desperate position. He's got to do something, but those adepts on the top could come in, and he's got no defense at home. So he's going to kill 1 or 2 probes here, Maynard, and those adepts are going to ruin his economy.
Yeah, the overcharged shield battery is actually doing all right here defensively for Haas. The Void Ray really has no answer to it. And now the Adepts time to shine here, rolling into that 3rd base. It's a Spine Crawler and a bunch of Queens, but it takes them a long time to kill the Adepts. So they target fire a few drones and then just bounce, sending the shades into the natural again. But GogojOey with the fast Evo wall in there. Haas is like, oh, I can break that.
Cancel rebuild, cancel rebuild. Doesn't quite pull off the trick there, but the Adepts are going to go on in, and that is what we were talking about, ruining the economy. Joey was frantically trying to recover his economy from the first wave, and just great usage there by Haas, surprising his opponent with the glaive Adept attack. Joey with some nice scouting early on, but didn't quite get the read, and just a classic old Adept follow-up to the Void Rays. Great way to finish it off for Haas.
Yeah, Haas being a little bit tricky, being good old Haas there, and GogojOey just not able to keep up, unfortunately. Just couldn't catch those hands. I mean, he caught them in some ways, but didn't catch them in others. So,
yeah,
unfortunate for him. There's currently 1 map down.
Not quite clean enough there in the end. It is, of course, just the way the cookie crumbles. Sometimes, you know, on that map, you don't want to be too safe. You want to be a little bit greedier. Does get caught out and pays the price for it. And that is, of course, Joey's map down the drain. So a great way to start the series for Haas.
Indeed. And we're going to take a short break. When we return, can Haas maintain dominance or will Joey fight back? Find out together after the break. See you then. G'day, StarCraft fans. Welcome back to the DreamHack Masters main event here for the winter season for the Taiwan Hong Kong region. I'm Maynard, with me is Pig, and currently for our first series, we have got in our best of 5, Haas, the monster himself, the mad scientist, 1-0 up on GogojOey, the challenger, the dark horse.
Indeed. Very nice way to start the series there. A surprise glaive, adept timing, basically securing the win there, of course, hidden behind a Void Ray into third base opening. Not the wildest build, really. Good timing attack from Haas, of course, but it was 7 gateways. I guess it was a bit more committed than the 4 gate glaives we tend to see behind it. No warp prism, no forward warp in point. Who needs that? Just one big gigantic wave of adepts sliding across Romanticide and taking GogojOey's map choice away from him. So that's always a good way to start the series, and then you get to go into the next one, your own map pick, and just feel like, hey, it's a great way to start and kick things off.
Yeah, indeed. Would love to see a more decisive plan from GogojOey. Now, obviously, the 12 pool was one that netted him a cheeky win in their last series. Maybe something like that, a Queen Walk. I know that Queen Walks aren't as effective as maybe they used to be. Protoss has gotten very good at scouting them and dealing with them. Similar to how, when the Protosses were just glaive adept attacking like over and over in every single PvZ in every single series. Yeah. Zerg's got really good at reading it and knowing when it was coming and defending it to the point where it became a liability for the Protoss rather than a build that was a plus EV play. And that kind of happened with the Queen Walk. The Void Ray thing really caused Zergs to try and figure out how do we just blindly counter this Void Ray stuff so we don't have to play this game. Queen March. It's been an answer, but again, Protosses seem like they've turned it into a liability.
Well, it's a good map for that Queen Walk, and I'm sure this man might have it in the back of his mind. In the top right side of the map, representing Prep Esports, this is Haas.
And in the bottom left, represented by the Juggernauts, the Hong Kong player dropping that pool first in the red. This is GogojOey. was the last time you've been to Hong Kong? It's been a long time for me.
I've only ever been there very briefly other than flying through the airport. So yeah, it's been a long time. I stayed one night there after one of the Chinese events back in 2016, I think, I want to say. So
Yeah.
that's like 5 years now. Cool city, man.
It is. I've been to, obviously we were talking a little bit about Taipei, that IM grand final, so a little bit more time there than I have Hong Kong, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I hear it's pretty nice. It's one of those warm places, you know?
Yeah, nice and moist all the time, mate.
Yeah,
It is
sticky.
A bit humid, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that dry heat, which of course you get your fair share of down in Adelaide, but interesting to see where it goes from here, man. I think you said, decisive. I think Joey's saying pull first is the way to secure the early game. I don't mind it. Don't mind this at all for now. But yeah, if Haas does just Void Ray third, why not do a Queen Walk? Yeah, well, obviously we've seen sometimes in some of the series people doing things like immediately dropping a Dark Shrine to counter it, that sort of thing. There's a lot of different options available, and very much about the reads.
Haas got that probe, trying to be vigilant on the Zerg side of the map, and Joey's keeping an eye on that warp gate, and he sees a lack thereof. So Stargate usually confirmed as the Adept pops out and warp gate hasn't started.
Yeah, the Stargate does come down, and Joey will sacrifice his Overlord through to confirm that much as he takes his third base behind it. And I'm totally fine with the way Joey opened that last game. Just needed a bit of a quicker Roach Warren based on the lack of gases scouting. See no gases at 4 minutes 5, 4 minutes 10, whenever it was that Overlord was. That's a timing where, yeah, they're probably going to be down right around then. So I can understand why he didn't make the read, but at the same time, it's Haas. Got to play extra safe against this one.
Very similar to the last game. Haas showing up with a single Adept looking for drone damage, forces 2 spores and kills 1 drone. Just like Romanticide.
Glitch in the Matrix. Exact same scenario once again, and Queens are going to push the creep down. So yeah, on this map, it's kind of weird because the Queen Walk it shouldn't be so good here, but it definitely is. I just feel like you'd never get a chance to do a Queen Walk versus Haas. What kills Haas is like, oh, I'm randomly going to make a pack of Roachling and just go, right? It almost feels like the Queens are too slow. Like how often are you in a situation where Haas sits back and does nothing for long enough for your Queens to even get halfway across the map before he's hitting you? It's hard to kind of commit to something like that.
Looks like this time Haas is actually going to play the Void Ray style. Second Stargate starting here. Actually, gas is going down the natural. All right. We don't see him play this too often, PvC. This is more of a but always thing.
Third Nexus before building any extra Void Rays, so he's going to be that quick double gas. And third, oh my lord.
Oh my.
We're going to see so many Void Rays, Maynard. We are going to see so many. I mean, it could be Phoenix, technically.
Could be. The triple Stargate Phoenix against Zerg.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Hey, man. Look, I am... This is my favorite part about the Taiwanese Hong Kong region here is I just let Nice and Haas take me for a ride. I'm like, yep, take me to Clown Town. I just want to sit down and watch all the craziness, these wild builds that you just never see in NA or EU or anything like that. I love it.
Yeah, 3-star Phoenix, it's going to be a big momentum play, so he's going to be looking to fly in with probably about... And off 3 Stargates, it's got to be at least 8 Phoenix when you show it, I would imagine. Otherwise, there's no point building the 3rd Stargate. As it is, he's only building 2 Phoenix at a time because he's kind of starved the gas. It's actually crazy how quickly you can build Phoenix off 2 Stargates, Maynard. So that 3rd Stargate's only going to be able to be used intermittently.
Yeah, by the time, like you start a chrono, and by the time it's done, that Phoenix is out. So yeah. It's pretty fast, that thing, as it builds. The Link's poking that natural, just forcing a couple more warp-ins, just to force some respect. But yeah, the Void Ray gets deflected from the Zerg side of things. Neither player really doing anything super critical to each other, but obviously we know that Haas is amassing Phoenixes on triple Stargate here. Looks like the Overseer to the south side of the main base might get early wind of this.
Dude, that's such a good scout. Just making an Overseer, goes in, and he sees it.
Hello.
Yeah, this is a really good bit of early warning. I mean, Joey doesn't have the greatest drone count, Maynard. He's down on workers. Was he planning a Queen Walk? I don't know why he's... Oh, he really thought there was another ground attack. After game one, Joey's caught being way too cautious. You need a lot of drones to defend this because you're going to lose so many workers to Spore Crawler building, just to these pickups, the Overlords. There's going to be kills no matter what. There will be blood, Maynard.
There will be blood. And Overlords all being pulled back to home base here as the Phoenixes start to rule the skies and take complete map control from the Zerg. Drones getting evaporated and eviscerated here by those Phoenix beams.
Snuck his roaches around the edge. And it looks like one of his units maybe saw some of them coming because the Phoenix kind of going back. No, he doesn't know about it. And those roaches and lings are about to dive in on that third. There are a few adepts to buy time, but if he can kill some of these probes, that'd be huge.
Overcharged shield battery being initiated there from Haas. Joey trying to target it down with the lings.
Yeah, he's just got to
doing a great job against those lings.
And,
oh man, he's not going to find much.
He got one probe. He got one probe and brought the Phoenix home for a moment. That's all he achieved with that. That is a devastating win there. Of course, Joey does buy himself time, so it's still kind of somewhat worth it. As Haas, his transition is get air weapons, so his Phoenix shoot harder and then make double forge, and he's gonna go mass gateway unit with double upgrades against Zerg. I'm telling you, this is what Haas does. He gets ahead economically, and then he just swarms Zerg. He doesn't like playing technical splash damage armies. He likes to just smash them with gateways.
That's right. He's very good at Zerging Zerg, actually. Like playing he's playing Zerg with Protoss pieces. Oh man, the drones. The Zerganity. It's brutal.
Okay, yeah, 18 workers. That is massive, dude. The Adepts getting on past and everything. Joey trying to recover the drone count. Remember, this is a pretty basic composition for Haas. So it should be a way to bring it back, but it's definitely going to come off the back of a few very good fights. And I wonder how you hang on with so many gateways. A fourth base is already almost finished. Haas, when he gets momentum like this, he's doing his PVT thing. And that is, he's like, I'm going to make 100 probes. I'm going to expand faster than you've ever seen. I'm going to make the sickest upgraded army. I'm just going to throw zealots at you. And you are going to drown. You will not be able to breathe with this many zealots charging at you.
It's just not too often you see the double upgrade gateway units in PvZ, and also less often when you've got air weapons as well. So
exactly.
This is a bit of a half special here that we've got for us. Joey trying to get up to Hive. I mean, getting up to Hive does mean you have access to things like Vipers. You can get some scary units out, but he's not really got the bankroll for it to make any of the scary things and to get those scary tier 3 things up. And I honestly also don't think Haas is going to give him the breathing room because all the gateways are done. Upgrades are done. It's time to go out there.
I think the Hive is for Vipers in case the Phoenix keep getting massed, right? But obviously that's not the case. So it's like, it's just going to be like kind of useless on its own. Obviously Lurkers would be nice, but he doesn't have a Hydra Den yet. So he's kind of just trying to max on Roach Queen. The thing is, Haas economy is so good that I think Haas can just swarm over him.
I think so as well. And even the Archons coming in here to help out those charge lots, that extra bonus to the biological units, which all Zerg units are. The Archons really have a lot of efficacy here. The Roaches and Ravagers, an army that can hold the charge lot and Archon for sure, but it just feels like the numbers aren't really there for Joey. A good hold over there at this base. The fourth base, though, a different story.
Now 5 workers going down already, but...
A lot of Queens.
Okay, picks up the Ravagers, though. The Ravagers cannot turn and run. The Phoenix forcing these units to stand their ground and fight. Not what Joey wants to do right now. He wants to pull back.
The Queens are being lifted and taken out of contention. They're running out of juice as well as they drop their transfusions on all their babies and also their sisters in arms. The Roaches coming over from that third hatchery after deflecting the charge lots to try and assist over here. And it looks like it might be a little bit too little too late as Haas gets rid of everything with those air units picking off the Overlords as well on the retreat as these charge lots still rip and tear. Specifically only until it's done.
Yeah, I think it's almost done. So he's going to have to rip and tear a little longer as he swaps into 2 Blink Stalker Immortal. Oh my lord, 84 probes behind this. Haas has so much money. He can do this forever. He doesn't need to stop. There is no urgency for him right now. He's just like, yeah, I can keep going. I can keep going. And Joey trying to drop a Spire, recovering some of his workers. He's trying to build Zerglings right now. But he's just going to be a little bit too far behind Roaches. We always talk about how they're not the greatest supply. But when you're down in supply on Roaches and you're down in workers, ooh, things ain't looking good.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to make this kind of army comp work, you've got to be up like 40 or 50 army supply. Not just supply, but army supply to take a convincing fight against things like charge lots, Archons, and Mortals. Especially when those Archons and and Charge Lots and Immortals have got +2 attack. Those things are hitting real hard, and those Charge Lots got +2 armor as well. So GogojOey, just not enough, honestly. He's been on the back foot this whole game. At no point was he winning it.
Yeah. Melee Carapace, we got Blink upgrades. Spire's almost finished there for Joey as well. And he's going to try to just make roaches and weather the storm. Those 4 Immortals have something to say about it, Maynard. It's like, no matter how good you kite first the Zealots, eventually you got to fight the Immortals. Nothing GogojOey has. Jojo is my new nickname for him. That's just Jojo. Just combine the two. Jojo here, you know, his units cannot deal with Haas's units. So it's kind of funny because sometimes Haas takes a while to finish his opponents in these scenarios. Personally, I think it's because he enjoys just the process of slowly dismantling them, you know? Probably one who tortured flies when he was a kid.
I think that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure might be ending here for game 2. This is way too much anti-Roach Ravager from Haas, and it's just as easy as that. Just a move through it all. He's made the right choices. His composition is too strong. His upgrades are too good. And GogojOey just really felt like he had to dance to Haas's tune. You know what I mean? Like he was never really able to force Haas to do anything. Haas was like, I'm going to do this, and then it worked. And he's like, all right, now I'm going to do this, and then it worked. And really, like you break it down, it's as simple as that. But a lot of minutia in that game, but Haas always in the driver's seat.
And I just love the way Haas moved from game 1 to game 2. Game 1, he says, yeah, you want to play against the Stargates? You want to be ready for that? Bam, the Adepts are going to kill you. Game 2, you want to play safe against the potential Adepts? Guess what? Here's 3 Stargate Phoenix. And even though he scouted it a little bit of ahead, he didn't have the right setup. If those bunch of Roaches and Zerglings that he built in kind of defensive safety, if those had actually been drones, he might have been okay. But look at this. The Phoenix fly in. Haas was already up economically when the Phoenix first came in.
Yeah, and when they were first scouted, Joey had already kind of blindly prepared for a ground switch.
Yeah.
And the ground switch did happen, but when the ground switch was happening, Joey was preparing for the air units that he'd just seen. So it felt like he was playing catch-up in a way. Like, as he got hit more and more defense against what he had seen, Haas was already on the next phase of his plan. He was double Immortal producing while Joey was massing Roaches here.
And definitely good to see Joey fighting from behind, seeing what he could make happen. But I think we see that it was, of course, after the first Phoenix, it was just like losing situation. I can't imagine any player really being able to bring it back from there. It's just Joey needed a bigger economy, but was a little bit too respectful of the potential for the Adepts, and Haas did a great job of hiding it. He even paused Phoenix production at one point when the Zerglings were pressuring to warp in quite a few extra Adepts. He had 3 Adepts at the third, an Adept in the natural, only warped in 2 more Adepts when the Lings were pressuring the wall. So I think there was a lot of little details there where Haas was like, hold on a second, cancel one of my Phoenix I've just started, warp in Adepts, let's keep showing these to Joey. Let's feed into the fear of the last game. Now I've got a 2-0 advantage.
Yeah, that's it. And I think that, honestly, Joey is starting to feel quite a bit of fear here as he's on elimination map with Haas never really looking in threat of losing a game in this series so far. And he only has to get one more win. Joey has the arduous task of winning 3 maps in a row against Haas to keep his tournament dream alive. I mean, this has already been an amazing run for Joey, a career best. As if the run does end here, it's a career best finish for him. But we want to see more from him. This guy has been such a monster in the top left from Prep Esports. This is Haas.
And down here in the bottom right side of the map, in the red, representing the Juggernauts, he's going to have to win the next 3 in a row to bring us back. This is GogojOey.
Another report from the front lines. Protoss player currently 2-0 up in a tournament series. Cole's Zerg imbalanced. More at 11.
Yeah, well, this is probably the one where he's going to cannon rush as well. Like I actually would not be surprised if he goes to his natural and builds a forge in a moment. With the probe and does the the gateway forge cybercore build. It's not headed down yet, so okay. Looks like he's probably not. But I feel like if I was Haas, I'd do so many fake cannon rushes as well. I'd just be like building pylons, just like, ooh, look, I'm building a pylon in your natural or something like that. Just try to get a reaction. I just feel like my opponents would already be so nervous just knowing my reputation.
Yeah, just assert dominance. Be that 6-foot-tall bully in high school.
Oh, okay. Yep, it's a later one, but he's gonna. Where's his cyber core? Okay, delayed that a few seconds. Hesitating a little bit. He's like, I have 450 minerals. I will drop a forge. I will drop a cyber core. So I think he's just said, oh, you know what? Actually, I will do this. Maybe he was expecting to be facing a pool first, but now decides, hey, let's go for it.
The hatchery.
Yeah, in your face.
Yeah, in your face and in your base, mate.
Dude, creep's gonna spread. It's gonna be hard for him to get enough cannons down, but actually, I think he knows Joey is just gonna give it up. Oh, did Joey even see the forge? Did his overlord spot the forge? Okay, he did.
Yes, it did.
Because I was like, dude, if he canceled that without spotting the forge, that's insane. You cannot let them cancel a hatchery just by building a pylon there. But he did see the forge, so at least it costs us something. But once again, Joey has his third base taken down. I've talked about how that third base as a preemptive defense to Haas Cannon Rush, not my favorite. As much as it's nice because any cannons there will not block you in your main, I just do not like it as a setup, because now you end up having your 2 hatcheries delayed. You're playing from a little bit behind. And Haas says, yeah, a lot of people don't want to forge here. This is Haas' favorite build. He normally builds a forge as his first tech structure like half the time anyway. So any excuse for him to make 1-1 upgrades, he loves this.
Yeah, and it means he can go into things like Prism with early upgraded gateway units, or he can even go into Mortal earlier with the gateway unit support. Whatever he wants to do. If he wants to go for some kind of 2-base thing. I mean, with +1 this quickly and Robo this fast, it has to be aggressive from Haas here.
Adept poking in there, looking for some damage. Not finding it just yet. Oh, is that the only queen? Okay.
Okay.
Gonna have to pull on down.
Yeah, I guess so, because normally you would have 2 hatcheries for a little bit longer than that.
Yep.
Queen production, but he had to cancel that one. Nearly done.
Thankfully, link speed's finished, so that Adept overstaying does get taken down.
Robo is up and beginning to produce. It's going to be an immortal immediately here from Haas.
He's got a forward proxy gate as well. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Aggression.
Carapace is on the way for Joey. Carapace versus Protoss. I guess it's so his Zerglings don't die to the Zealots so easily. Still don't really want Zerglings versus an Immortal Zealot attack, though. But this does look like it's going to be the no charge Zealot attack, right, Maynard? 1 Immortal, 1 Warp Prism, and then a whole lot of slow Zealots to deal with the Zerglings. Stalkers, if there's roaches.
The Ling's getting a good look at the main base. They see that Immortal pretty early as well, so Joey can adjust his response accordingly. Seeing the Immortal is pretty huge. They also didn't really get a whole lot of damage done with it, but the information is priceless.
Yeah, I mean, he sees that he's not mining gas. So Joey is building Zerglings. He's going to try and swarm this with Carapace Zerglings. This is such a weird way of dealing with this. So obviously the Carapace cancels out the +1 attack, which means the Zealots will take 3 shots rather than the 2 shots to kill you, which is great for Joey. But number 1, will Carapace be finished? Number 2, I feel like Zealots are still good because they've got high hit points, right? So if you get enough of them together, the Zerglings can't surround them. They can't take down the units quick enough. It feels like it's really hard. So I'm really curious to see if Joey, with his 31 drone Carapace Zergling Roach response, can make this work.
I'm glad he's still making some roaches, because I really feel like just a swarm of Zerglings is not going to be adequate enough for that. So getting some roaches out here, only a half a dozen on the way right now. Spine Crawler I like a lot. Link's coming in for the backstab here, trying to grab some of the straggling reinforcements that they don't quite find what they were looking for. Yeah, the Lings are questionable here.
Does get at least something there, but the Prism can warp in on the front. The Roaches, normally you want to kite the Zealots with Roaches, but he's going to just fight with Zerglings. The Queens are fantastic. They're going to tank quite a lot, but look at this. The Zerglings not doing much at all. Zerglings from behind doing a little bit there. Transfuses on the spine. And of course, the numbers very even, but that Immortal, anytime it's hitting Roaches or Spines, that Immortal is worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, and the Stalker's kind of as a same deal, and they all have +1 attack, do not forget, so they're hitting a little bit harder than they normally would if they weren't upgraded, which they normally wouldn't be at this stage. But that early Forge, man, putting in work and putting in value for Haas. The Lings just getting shredded by the side blades of these Zealots, and that's just it. A bit of an underwhelming series, to say the least, from GogojOey, but Haas is saying, nuh-uh. You want to try again next season, be my guest, but not this time.
Yeah, that is a little bit rough for Joey.